Hi everyone. So today I'm gonna share with you a list of the books that I want to read in 2025. Um, I'm not gonna be too attached to this list because if you watch my previous video of the books that I read in 2026, no, wait, let's rewind. I'm gonna share a list of the books that I want to read in 2026, and if you watch the video about the books that I read in 2025, you know that I recorded a video with a list of what I wanted to do, what I wanted to read during the year, and I only read 3 out of 8 books of the list. So I'm not gonna get too attached to it. So right now, like, that's how I feel this month, kind of last month. Like, those are the books that are on my mind to read, like that I have an interest, but you never know. So I'm traveling and I don't really have any, well, most of the books actually on the list I don't have physical copies, but anyway, I don't have my Kindle here either to show the covers, so it's gonna be here. I'm gonna put it in the editing. So again, like, that's all vibes. I might read it, I might not read them. And also, I'm not gonna go deep into the synopsis of the books. Some of them are classics, but I'm not gonna go deep on the synopsis because it would take me longer to record this video, because some of them are just like, I just want to read for vibes. And then if I want to go after the synopsis, like, I would have to research it, and then it was gonna take me longer to record a video. And anyway, I'm just enjoying my motivation now. So yeah, let's go. Instead of the synopsis, I'm gonna say why I want to read the books. I feel like it feels better. So the first one is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I don't know, it feels weird to think that I've never read this book before, even though I really like classics. I like English literature and I like Gothic books, which, you know, this book it checks all the categories. I've never read it. I've always been interested in it. It's always on my lists, like, it's on my Goodreads list of want to read, it's on my Amazon list, it's on my Kindle wish list, and whatever. And then last month, December, I watched the new movie of Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro, and I loved it. I loved it. It feels very gothic. It feels very true to what I've heard about the book, of all the reviews and things that I read about the book. The movie seems very, very faithful, and I want to read it because, like I said, it checks all the boxes of things that I like, and also because I want to compare movie to book. That's a thing that I like to do a lot, watch movie adaptations of books. Yeah, so that's the reasoning to why I want to read it. The second one, it's Mexican Gothic by Silvia Garcia Moreno. And I heard a lot about this book when it first came out, like, I don't even know how long ago. And it was on my list for a very long time. And then I guess last year I saw a YouTuber talking about it and talking about how disappointed she was with the book. She was expecting something different or something better about the book, and then they kind of made me remember of this book. It's kind of, you know, like, it came out, I was very excited, I didn't read it, and then I forgot, and then I saw this video and I was like, oh yeah, there's this book. So yeah, it's on my list. It's supposed to be Gothic and Mexican, and I don't remember much about the reviews I saw. Like I said, it was a while ago and the book came out, but yeah, I want to read it. I want to keep going with the Gothic theme from last year, and, you know, following the vibe of Frankenstein, but something more contemporary would be nice. So that's it. Next one is Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. If you watch my videos. Last year I bought this book, I guess was in Colombia. Yeah, that I made like a book haul, and I bought this book and I haven't read it, and I'm really interested because it's a vampire book. I like vampires, I like supernatural books. I guess it's pretty obvious by this point. Also, she's a famous author on Book Talk, BookTube, in the social medias. People are always talking about her books. And every library that I go, bookshop, library, bookshop, that I go, I see this book and like in the shelf of like TikTok books or like books that sell a lot or popular books or favorite books or whatever. So I guess it's the same case of last year with Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, I want to know what's going on. I want to know why the author is famous, if the book is good or not. So yeah, that's my reasoning. The next book, I think it's the fourth book on the list, is Les Miserables. I don't know how to say it in English. I don't know how to say it in French. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. This is actually a reread because I read this book when I was like 15, 16, and it wrecked me inside. It made me feel things that I've never know a book could make me feel. And it's the most literal book ever. Like, the title is the most literal title ever. It's just a bunch of miserable people living a miserable life and bad things happening all the time to them and lots of suffering. And I remember I ended the book kind of, I mean, even though the ending is a little bit, there's like sweet things and stuff, I kind of finished the book with not in a good place mentally, but I want to do it again. This year, a couple of days ago, I watched a musical on West End, and it's just amazing. It's just perfect, and it made me want to read it again. And I've been wanting to reread this book for a few years now. Like, every time I go again to a library bookshop and I see a copy of it, I'm like, I should read it again. And now I have the perfect excuse, I feel. The next one, it's also following the vibe of last year, is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I guess like this is again one of the classics that I'm pretty sure like people are kind of semi-aware of the story. Maybe. Hope so. Yeah, last year was a very wicked year for me. Like, I saw the movie, I saw the musical, I read the book. Then in December I watched Wicked Part 2 on the theaters. And something that I really like to do, I said it already, is to compare adaptations of the same story. And it made me really curious because, like, I've watched The Wizard of Oz, I've watched The Wiz, I've watched Wicked, musical and movie, and I read Wicked, and now I just need to read The Wizard of Oz to understand. Oh, and I watched Oz, Power, Great and Powerful, and whatever. I'm gonna put somewhere the name of the movie, but it's Oz, Great and Powerful. Something like it. Anyway, so I've watched a lot of Oz stuff, but I haven't read the original book that inspired all the medias. And I know it's a children's book, so I think it's gonna be short and quick, and that's very scary. So anyway, I just wanna read it to understand the source material of so many medias, so many movies, and why the story would inspire so much. I mean, the movie, I know Wicked was more inspired by the movie than the book, but anyway, the movie was inspired by the book. yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just curious to understand like what in the story makes it so compelling, you know. That's it. The next one is also gonna follow last year's theme. Last year I made personal, not milestone, but like I tried to read more national books. I feel like I mentioned this in some video, and I kind of succeed. Like I read 14 books. 3 of them were Brazilian books. The years before it was like 0. Like the last time before last year, the last time that I read a national book was in high school, and I graduated like 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it took me like 4 or 5 years to read a Brazilian book again. So this year I want to keep on the trend, maybe read more Brazilian books, because like all the ones that I read last year, they were really, really good. But I also want to add a layer to that, like a subcategory. Not only I want to read more Brazilian books, but I want to read more Brazilian contemporary books, because I feel like I will have the tendency to go to more classic books. So I want to read like both. And on that note, the book that I want to read this year is a book that I've always wanted to read, but again, you keep postponing it. It's called Vidas Secas by Graciliano Ramos. I don't know if there is a translation, an English edition for this one, or Spanish, but this is a classic, like the classic. If you want to apply for, well, they usually ask for you to read it in high school in some schools, or if you want to apply to college and you want to do like the exams to apply to college, like the big colleges, you have to read this one. It's like very, very famous. And yeah, I mean, it's allegedly kind of hard to read. I don't know, but I am excited and I'm ready to read it. So next, also a Brazilian book. It's called Salvar o Fogo by Itamar Vieira Jr., the same author from my favorite book from last year, Torturado. Again, I don't know if there's a translation for it in English, but this book is supposed to be the second one in a trilogy, and I've read the synopsis a few months ago. It's in a different place with a different protagonist, but it's supposed to follow the same structure, the same feeling, the same narrative, narrative, I would say. So I'm very excited to read that, because like that was my favorite book of the year, and like, oh my god, I'm very excited to read this one. And yeah, even if there's no translation in English and anyone is curious about it, I'm gonna probably talk about it in the channel. Like, even if no one cares about it, I'll probably talk about it in the channel, because I'm very excited. The next one is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't know much about this one. It's again one of the books I've seen a lot in bookshops. The cover makes me curious about it, because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, maybe after I read the book will mean something, but it doesn't really mean anything. I feel like I've heard a synopsis of this book sometime at some point, but I don't remember. But something intrigued me about this book. The cover intrigues me, the title intrigues me, and I know it's a famous book. And I guess I'm just curious to know what is the secret history. Let's leave it at that. The next one is Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. I'm not gonna try to say it because it's bad apparently, but I'm gonna put it here. It's a book that inspired Hamilton the musical, and I really like Hamilton. I like more the soundtrack than the musical itself, if that makes any sense. But I really like the soundtrack of Hamilton, and I also got to see it a couple days ago in the West End, and it's really amazing. I've watched a few times on Disney Plus too, and every time I watch it, I'm very curious about what was romanticized. Well, some things are kind of obvious, but like the non-obvious things that were romanticized. And I'm also curious to know how annoying Hamilton was in reality, because he sounds pretty annoying in the musical, and I really like to know if it's if it's just a musical thing, or if it's a reality thing. So I really want to read it. It's kind of a long book. I think it's going to be one of the books that is going to take me a few good months to finish, but I really want to read it. Like I want to read this book since I first watched the musical. So yeah, again, one of the books that I want to read and I never do. The next one is Goodbye to Berlin, or in some translations, The Berlin Stories, by Christopher Isherwood. Again, I'm gonna live here because I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. This book inspired the musical Cabaret that I also watched a couple days ago, like last week, and I watched it last year. And my life is not the same since I watched it the first time last year. And it made me really curious to read the book. It's apparently short stories about that place, that period, that time. So yeah, I mean, I guess like I can say like all the books in the list so far is just like I'm very curious to read them. I don't know how to describe this one. It's just like I really like the musical. And I've watched some adaptations online. Literally today, I watched the movie for the first time, and I feel like it's interesting the creativity liberties that each one has. Really like the music, and it's interesting to know that it was inspired by a book, and I don't know, just made me want to read about it. And the last one is Into the Wild by John Krakauer. Krakauer, I guess. Yeah, this one is also okay. It's apparently now that I'm thinking, it's basically a list of books that became movies, because I guess like aside from maybe one or two, like all the books in this list were movies, and that's why I kind of want to read them, because I've watched the movie at some point, and I was just curious about the book. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I wish I had more to say about it than that. That's it. Yeah, I can, if I read any of them, or if I read a few of them, I can come back and do a review and also do a movie versus book, because apparently that's the thing. That's going to be the theme of the year. Also, some honorable mentions to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms that I'm reading right now, and I'm halfway through it. I also want to reread Fire and Blood, at least some parts of it, because of the new season of The House of the Dragon. I also have been wanting to reread Game of Thrones, the first one, but I don't know if I'm going to face it because it's kind of a big book. Also one that I've been wanting to read for a while, and I watched the first episode of it, Welcome to Derry. But also I was remembering this book because people were talking a lot about Stranger Things, and Stranger Things was heavily inspired by it. So that was on my mind a lot. So this is one that I want to read, but I feel like I need lots of, I don't know, patience, motivation. I don't know the word, because it is a very long book, but other than that, it's not nonsense, but there's lots of fantasy, lots of science fiction, and lots of, you know, like you have to fly to kind of follow the story. That's how it sounds like. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of forgot the name of the book right now. I have it on my Kindle, but my Kindle is charging. It's the book that inspired True Blood. I think it's The Adventures of Sookie Stackhouse. I really want to read at least the first one. It's a long series. I think it's like 12 books, 10 books. I really want to read the first because I've been watching the TV show with my boyfriend for a while now, and we're on the 7th season. And to be fair, like I read 2 pages of it last year, and the 2 first pages are very true to the book. But anyway, we are in the 7th season, and I feel like the first book and the first season are going to be kind of similar, but I'm curious to see how much the TV show detoured from the books by season 7, because I cannot believe that in season 7, like the things that are happening in season, we're in season 7, yeah, the things that are happening in season 7 actually happen in the book. No, we're in season 6. I think it has a total of 7 seasons, and we are in season 6. Anyway, we're in the penultimate season, before the last, and I just want to see how much of liberty was creative liberty was put on the show. That's it. And yeah, I guess this is my list of books that I have some intention of reading at some point. I also want to read more comics. I feel like I said this last year and I didn't do it last year, but this last year, in my mind is still 2025. But anyway, in the 2025 Comic Con in Sao Paulo, I bought lots of comic books, so I really want to read them this year. Yeah, this is all I can think of. I try not to bring nonfiction books because my nonfiction books, I don't know, I just see the title and I'm like, I'm gonna read it. So I probably will gonna read some nonfiction ones, but there's no one in particular that I want to read that I can think of. But yeah, that's it. So I'll see you again related to this video. I'll see you again next year or in the end of this year. Thank you for watching. If you watched so far, I just realized that I'm not very on the camera. The thing is showing up more than me, but I'm comfortable. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.